Hello everybody, it's Zack4 for the weekly update. A few things today. First of all, videos this week should all be perfectly fine. I actually recorded a lot of Dirge of Cerberus last week. I recorded like 8 episodes or something, or no, 7 episodes, I would say. I'm in the middle of Chapter 8. Or I'm at the start of Chapter 8 in the game, out of 11. So I'm up to episode 12. So the game is probably going to run till episode 20 or so, I would say. So yeah, it'll be a nice self-contained little thing. The game, the story is picking up. There's a lot of interesting things that happen, and we're going to keep to an upload schedule of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So 4 episodes a week. Wednesday and Saturday are going to be Trails in the Sky on Much Games, and that's going to be the general schedule for the near future. Let's see, last week we also had a Binding of Isaac stream. I played co-op of the new Repentance DLC with my brother, and it was very fun. I uploaded that as well. Among other things, we announced for the upcoming Icabathon charity marathon, which I talked about before, but I'll mention every week till it actually happens. It's a charity marathon that's in the memory of our friend Brian Fraser, Icabathon. It is for the Canadian Blood Services, and it's going to be running from Friday, April 23rd until Sunday, April 25th. It's going to be during a bunch of the day and night, starting at midday, I think, maybe. No, let me just pull up the schedule now so I'm not telling you false information. It will be starting, Thursday night. It will be starting Thursday night, the 22nd, at 6 p.m.-ish. And it'll be going until Sunday at around 6 p.m. as well. It's not going to be all... It's not going to be all night things, is it? No, it's not going to be all night things. It's going to be... the first day on Thursday, it's going to be like that first block until about 2 a.m. And then starting up again at 10 a.m. On Friday morning and going till 2. So 10 to 2 every day until the last day, which will not be ending at 2 a.m. It'll be ending at 6 p.m. Sunday afternoon. But yeah, what we announced for it is going to be having special guests. Saturday afternoon, John, Wonderful Ones, is going to be having Chuck Conroy on as a co-com for special blocks. That's going to be fun. And on Sunday afternoon, I'm going to be, I think for the closing block, actually, I'm going to be having Proton John as a co-com, so that should be interesting. It's going to be a fun time. Aside from that, we got a lot of people playing a lot of fun games. We got I'm going to be doing Pokemon Ranger during my regular stuff. We got Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team, Explores the Sky, Fire Red Leaf Green Randomizer, Alpha Sapphire Randomizer, Pokemon Shield DLC, a Pokemon Art Block, and TCG, and Pokemon TCG Online and Pokemon Showdown, and Pokemon Black Randomizer. I got a lot of randomizers, that's awesome. So it's going to be fun times. I hope to see you there. The tweet is going to be in the description of the video again if you would like to follow and do all that. If you don't want to follow or aren't interested in whatever, that is perfectly fine. If you feel like you would like to help retweet or spread the word, that's cool too. But yeah, it's going to be fun, and I'll see you guys there. I have plans. Anyway, so yeah, this past week was a short week. It was a very busy week for me. Aside from doing like the recording and stuff, we've also started accelerating our packing of the house. Tomorrow, hopefully, God willing, we are going to be closing on the new house to buy, because it was supposed to happen on Friday, but it didn't because of whatever factors, but it should be tomorrow. and if not tomorrow, within the next couple of days. And from that point, we can actually start working on the new house and also moving our stuff, slowly moving our stuff there. So the room is probably going to start changing from week to week as we start fixing up the new house and stuff. So it's exciting and stressful all at once. Let's see. So, I did also a lot of art this week. So April, there's 2 months of the year that I would say are, no, 3. It's really hard to say, actually. I have a list here of everyone's birthdays of people that I know that at least want to remember birthdays. So I have like a whole sticky note with people's birthdays so I don't forget. There's certain months that have really high concentrations of birthdays. November has a whole bunch of people within like a 2-week period. May has a whole bunch of people like on the same 2 days. There's a bunch of people in June, July, whatever. July actually has a ton of people as well. But April is one of those months as well, because April 4th through 8th is my friend Donnie Kite 404, Nintendo Capri Sun, Mal Makes Motion Dan, and Chugga Conroy. And then later in the month we got Miss A, and then more people are in, like John and Reese are in November time, and then I'm in December, so it's like, again, John's the beginning of November, Reese is the end of November, but people just start stacking up. So this past week was Tim, Mel, and Emil's birthdays, and I wanted to draw them something each, so it got very busy. But the first birthday was Tim, so I drew him a what's her name? Emma Skye from the Ace Attorney series, because I know he really likes her. But I just like how this came out. I didn't want to like spend all day on some of these things because I was also working on Patreon stuff, but I really like how this came out. The colors are better in real life, but that's just how it goes. It's color correction on this. Let's see. What else happened this week? Yahoo Answers is going to be shutting down, which is very sad, because then we won't know if people are Pargent or not. Let's see, the Dirge of Cerberus started last week as well, like I said. I highly recommend checking it out. It's the ongoing series on my channel. Let's see. So for Mal's birthday, I wanted to draw her like as a joy of painting, Bob Ross type of thing. So I used like the pose from like the classic Bob Ross stuff and redrew her really awesome Breath of the Wild poster that's going to be hanging in my room when I have room eventually. So this was quick, meaning it didn't take like a ton of time for it, but it is my attempt at let's see if I can change the brightness at all. You can't really, there's a sun in the background there, but it's the way that the camera just picks up things. Oh well. But yeah, it's my attempt at recreating the Breath of the Wild piece, and I think it came out really nicely for a sketchy attempt at things. But yeah, I hope she doesn't think that I just traced it or something. I actually just tried to be like, okay, I'm gonna block out these areas and do little painty things, and the better version of it is in the Twitter moment that I always put under the description as well. But it was fun trying to recreate like the different things in miniature. So yeah, so it's her birthday. I wanted to draw her something because like the duck, the Untitled Goose Game thing that my hand is blocked, the Untitled Goose Game thing that hangs over there all the time is just very inspiring for me to look at, and I love it still. Let's see. So we went to check out the new house. That, like, before you buy a house, you do a walkthrough, which is where you just go through and make sure that the house isn't, there's the people have done things in the house that they're supposed to, and the people that we're buying the house from did not remove any of the junk. It's the house is vacated. The owner is the father of the family that's selling it. It was in a home and then he died, so no one's living in the house, and they just left all of his clothing and all of his junk and things in the fridge that have been there for God knows how long. Like, you're looking at like stuff in the closets that say like 2010, like have dates of 2010 on them, and I'm like, oh God. So yeah, that's just going to be on us to clean up, which kind of stinks, but unlike some people, we didn't find any, underwear in the walls yet, so that's good. Sorry. What else did we get this week? Final Fantasy Advent Children is getting a 4K HDR remaster, and I'm totally not going to buy it because I don't own it on DVD and Blu-ray currently. Don't look at me like that. Listen, it's Final Fantasy VII. I feel obligated. The next thing that I drew, which I'm very proud of because I think it looks official, and it took me 9 hours to do. About 9 hours straight. I was working on it on Thursday. Is art for Emil for his birthday, which was on Thursday, of Nia from Xenoblade. So this I did from scratch. It took a long time, but like I'm really proud of how it came out. I have like a scale. I have a scale of things that my art scale of things that I do on a scale of like stick figure to my high standard, which is a Persona 5 style thing. I think this is on the Persona 5 level of good in on the Dovey scale. I can't say for other people what they think about it, but personally, in my own estimation of how I like it myself, I put this on the scale of the Persona 5 stuff because I just I really like. I like how the color gets worse as I get closer to it. Oh well. But yeah, I just put a lot of detail into like the everything. I spent a lot of time on it because Emil is cool, and he was like the one that got me into Let's Playing and stuff. I have no idea if he actually saw it on Twitter because he probably gets inundated by hundreds of people on his birthday, but I hope he did. I have no idea though. But yeah, I put a lot of time into this, and I really like how it came out, and it's just it's just a good feeling to know that I can do something like that from scratch. And I just want to, I don't know why I didn't include it in the moment, in the tweet moment here, but there we go. So the way that I did this piece was that I did like the base colors and then separate layers for each of the shading. So I did like a disambiguation of all the various shadings. The shadings of an angry Welsh cat. You can see like each piece, like that was the shading on the clothing, the shading on the bracers, the hair, the like the body and the thing, whatever, the things going to that stuff, and the shading on the chakram. So yeah, I really like how this came out. I like how it went. I'm really sad that I forgot to do the time lapse on it, But I just forget to do the time lapse on most things because I'm like, this isn't gonna go well, and then like halfway through, I'm like, maybe I should have. I should just start preemptively doing it and just not saving it if I don't like it. What a concept. Let's see. So yeah, so that was like a combination birthday, part of that like MagFest gift thread. You know, like the one with Tim as the Luminary and John and Reese as their characters and Miss A's OCs. So that's added to that. And also LP fan art because he is playing Xenoblade 2. Yeah, so I'm just really proud of that. I have no idea if you saw it, but I'm personally really proud of that. And the last piece of art that I did was Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII, the upcoming remake. So this was really interesting. I did do a time lapse of this one. It's up on Patreon for early access there. But I really like how it came out. I tried to do like a darker color scheme, and it really worked out actually. It didn't look good at first until I added the darker background, but I just like how it came out. She's in her little Moogle outfit from the Integrate and Dirge of Cerberus. And, yeah, I like the pose and stuff. I don't think this is as good as the Nia piece, but we'll talk about that in just a second. And yesterday was Final Fantasy VII Remake's first anniversary, so that's cool. But yeah, there's a tweet here I want to read from Kaiser Neko, Scott Frericks. I've never actually tried to say his name out loud, so I don't know if that's how you pronounce the last name. But yeah, Kaiser Neko, you know, like from the Dragon Ball Z abridged, the Team 4-star, group. But yeah, so he tweeted out something which is a personal philosophy as well that I think is important for artists to hear. Not everything you create is going to be better than the last, nor should you try and hold yourself to that standard. It'll just burn you out. Psychic thing is, the bigger an audience you acquire, the more anxious you get when something feels subpar. You start to feel like anything that doesn't do numbers, TM, wasn't worth the time or effort, and that's incredibly demoralizing. Just create the things that you want, that make you happy, look for new and fun ways to challenge yourself, and give it your all when inspiration strikes. And that's something that's really important, and it's something that I have to keep in mind when I do my Patreon pieces, especially, is that not everything is going to have a consistent quality. It's physically impossible for you to have consistent quality unless you're a robot between all your work. And what I usually try to do is try to find that balance in my work between things that I'm good at and things that I want to try. So like with the Nia piece, the pose, she's just kind of like this. That's like a really easy pose compared to a dynamic pose. Like I was trying to do a different thing where she's like, doing like a more attacky type of thing, and it wasn't working out. But like for that Nia piece, I wanted to do like a more, I just wanted to make it look better. But like if I just did the same pose every single time for every character, I'd get really good at it, presumably. But I wouldn't learn as much in terms of how to draw and how things work. So like for the Yuffie thing, I have her like doing an action pose where she's got one leg out, she's on a knee, she's got like the arm forward, and that's really hard to draw, and it took me hours just to find a good reference for it and try to get the sketch right. But I learned something. I learned how to draw that type of style better, which is nice, and also like doing the darker skin theme and everything, because like drawing things where the base color of the skin isn't like a peach or something, or like a lighter color, but it starts with like a dark purple, and then just by doing all the other colors in that darker scheme as well, it fits in, and your brain says, oh, this is a regular colored person in a dark situation, as opposed to this is a purple colored person. So like your brain eventually starts filling in the colors and then color corrects it for you. But you don't learn those things unless you actually try them. So I always try to, even if it makes the picture look worse. Like I think that the Yuffie picture is objectively worse than the Nia one. You're not gonna confuse the Yuffie drawing for official art. but I'm proud of it because I did two things in that picture that I don't normally do, which is a weird dynamic pose and strange lighting. And I like doing that for my drawings, which is why a lot of my drawings are not as good. And, I like trying out different poses or different something. Whenever I do like a Patreon piece, it's usually like, how can I add something to this, And it's important, so that I don't just get into a mindset of I have to do better than myself. Like, I hold the Persona 5 thing up as my standard, and I did that a year ago now, and I don't think there's very few pieces that I've done, maybe like one or two, where I say to myself, I reached that standard again. Either because I haven't been able to do it, or, it's just not the goal of the piece is to try that. But that's okay. And I tell myself that's okay. The purpose of the Persona thing is to say, this is something that I am capable of doing. So, like, I don't lie to myself and say that, no, you can't do this. Like, it's impossible. And I just look at them and I'm like, I did that, though. So I can try this. The purpose of that is for me to look at it as, as an inspiration for future things, and not necessarily as a baseline, a new baseline. So yeah, it's like Kaiser Neko was saying, you should not keep establishing. You shouldn't use your art necessarily as baselines for itself. And I do the same for Let's Plays. I try to keep a standard. There's always important to have a standard, but like, if you don't do the bad art, you're not going to do the good art. Like, there's usually when I do the Patreon pieces or whatever, I have like a few sketches that I just toss out because they're not good. They're not good. And I was actually thinking of posting more of those bad sketches on my art Twitter, just as a, hey, you're allowed to have bad, or subpar, not necessarily bad objectively, but like, subpar work as you build up towards something that you would like to do. That's why I do like a lot of other sketching on other accounts, is because there's no pressure in an account that you have that its whole purpose is just sketches and studies. Like your whole point is, this is me learning something or trying something, and the point isn't to be good at it. The point is saying that I'm trying to do something. So yeah, but it's important with like not just like art, but like the things that you do is like, not everything has to be better than the last, and it's important to realize that like you yourself are different every day. Some days are better, some days are worse, and that's going to translate to the things that you do. And if you are trying something new, it's not going to look perfect. Like that Nia piece, like I said, I had a few tries before Nia even looked good, because I've never drawn her before, so I had to draw her a few times to be like, how the heck does her hair work? For some reason, having hairlines like that, I'm not good at. With all the times I've drawn Futaba Sakura, still not good at it. It confounds me. So that took a few tries, and it took a bunch of sketches. I had to do like 3 or 4 or 5 like sketches on top of each other to refine it. And the same with the Yuffie piece. That one took a while to like get each piece in place. But yeah, the important thing isn't that you do better every time. The important thing is that you just keep going, keep trying, keep doing things. If your goal is to try to perfect something, then good, keep going, keep trying. Even if one attempt is not as good as the previous one, you just keep doing it. If your goal is to try new things, then like, of course you're not going to be good at it when you try it. That's just how life is. But like, the point isn't to be good at it, the point is trying it. And eventually, like, the knowledge you accumulate doing different things together will start building up. You'll be doing something, you'll be like, oh, I did it this way with this other thing, let's try it here, and then it starts stacking. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is, like Scott said, don't give up. Don't burn yourself out by holding yourself up to in continually higher standards. You know, it's good to have like a lower baseline of like, okay, I'm not going to go on Patreon and draw a stick figure of Yuffie, and just give her like a little stick kunai and say, here's your Patreon piece, because that's stealing. But it's important to also not like set yourself up higher and higher and higher when you know that that's not realistic and that's not like a human goal to have. Your human goal is to improve, not to only improve. So yeah, here's hoping that, with the types of things you do, whether it's your job or your hobby or whatever, the things that you do, you're able to, keep going and keep improving, but just don't put that pressure on yourself. And looking forward to that charity marathon, looking forward to the videos this week, and looking forward to packing up my house. It's going to be a busy time. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.